Hello, everyone, including me somewhere in I don't know, in the next 10 to 20 to 30 years to come. I have a very, very beautiful message to share with, mm, with everything and everyone and all of those celestial bodies that have had a conversation with me last night. I, as nobody knows except me, feel like I owe this opportunity to myself to share this. I hope that the voice is a little louder so it can be heard, but it is what it is. I had the most profound experience of my life last night, where I was gone into the perpetual mode of getting to change my brain and everything it has to do with all of the traumatic experiences that you've had and changing it to a neuroplastic, uh, having a neuroplastic changes in your brain where all of the synaptic nervous system is kind of withdrawing its effect from the attachment to every other neuron, and you're experiencing this whole new um, detachment process where you are um, literally um, allowing yourself to change with new habits, and you're only doing that with loads of therapeutic ketamine at 150 milligrams per week. And a lot of people don't know what that anesthetic is, but I do. It's a fully renowned and very, um, it's a very renowned and changed uh, and diversified and probably upgraded since the 60s people used for anesthetics purposes. But here my experience is more like PTSD detachment and a bunch of other chemical imbalances that my brain have had for a long time. And I would usually, before the treatment, I would be literally all over the place. Like I would literally have no sense of self. I wouldn't know what to say and what to do. And my energy being all over the place is is a way to say that my prefrontal cortex has never worked in a very long time. I wanted it to be part of a program where I am actually directing it and also experiencing it, and at the same time, I am sharing that experience. But unfortunately, I have never been able to normally seize that opportunity, just like everyone else, on a normal pace of time. But for now, it's almost like you are in a free fall state, and it's almost like you're skydiving and you're falling off of the airplane, and midway through, you are experiencing mm, not the initial state where you're supposed to be pushed. Because a lot of times, in the first time, I don't remember, but talking about it, it's more like somebody has to push you to actually do the skydiving and all that. And I remember that little push I had to be with all the dangerous effects of the ketamine in the short time versus the long run. I remember when I was pushed down the hill, I almost didn't know how to let go of those intense emotional and traumatic experiences that I've had since childhood. It's almost like you're into being into this very intense mode of feeling things and intensity, that has no ability to to take some relaxation and to sit back and reflect on what's happening. And having coming from a 20 years of experience with trauma and inability to stand out and achieve the finer things in life. I don't actually go about saying that there are extraterrestrial abilities that actually come and affect my success rate in this world or anything else. But I think it has to do more with how my internal self has dealt with pain and trauma. If, for example, there's a normal human being that is willing to go and experience pain and trauma, they experience trauma and pain in the most normal way possible. They're like, we just had a painful experience. Let's just now detach from that and do what would heal. That the automatic process takes place, and the person is willing is really feeling like he's healed from that. Now, versus me, it's never been the case. I've always been I've always been into the depths of hell. Like I've been in the depths of hell because of that intensity of feeling things and the intensity of logically putting myself that there and addicting myself to the nature of how unnatural this world is. I cannot explain how abnormally ineffective my experience has been on this in this world for 30 years almost. I counting, and I don't know how to stop that or to get out of that. I feel like I'm still looking for people to tell me what to do. That's a very hard thing to swallow. Being at 30 years old and having been accomplished and accomplishing so many things in different fields, I've always felt like I stand a chance with anything. I've never felt like I can't do this or I can't get rid of this, but experiences talk for themselves. My experience in this life, almost for 30 years something, I've never had a normal relationship. I've always had this all over the place type of emotional experience. I thought I could heal that. Maybe I can stand out and and, and healthy, and I don't have to touch anything that is probably antidepressive. Hmm. Because depression in and of itself is a way to find your own grace at your own pace, and I found it. But I don't know how long this is going to affect me because the people that are affecting me are just very close people that I feel like I owe them an apology and I owe them some of what I can give. But unfortunately, I have to say that personality wise, I haven't been able to change even a bit. I'm still processing things at the same circuitry I was before. I don't think that I am probably being a little realistic here because you need to have something to deal with to be able to change. And for me, that's always been the hardest part. I can only change that if I'm not intensifying things. If I'm intensifying things all the fucking time, it's almost like am I allowing other sources of other aspects of things that I'm really not good at to take over and claim like I know them, claim like I know about them, and then start on embarking differences of opinion that has no question to be asked. And a lot of the times, these matters are not even close to um, realizing that are they the brainstormers or are they the ones who are changing it? And that's how I felt. That's how I felt. And now, being under my own skin post ketamine treatment and ketamine infusion, post, I don't know, like 11 hours from now, and I feel like there are sensory movements that are detached almost from the experiences I've had. And I have to look for words that probably would try to mean something. Mm. It's it's very delving. It's very calming. And it's almost like I'm just being allowed to have a voice and talk about this, because you never know. You might try to do that. You might try to start on that because, you never know. A lot of people do claim that ketamine is an opioid. It touches with the opioid receptors, and it changes the very geography of the brain because it has those detaching elements to it. It detaches almost all of your neurons in your brain, and you completely become a disassociative person. You don't know how to associate with yourself for almost like 3 to 4 hours post ketamine. And my dosage of 150 milligram, for God's sake, that's like taking twice. But it's not addictive. It's not an addictive compound. A lot of people totally in control. I feel like I am, I'm, um, I'm just seeing what I need to put my energy into place, and there is almost no pain receptors anymore. If, let's say, for example, I'm confronted with a situation, and I have to confront that, I will almost all the freaking time I will be confronting the person with the specifics, not the whole idea of what the person is saying. If there were negativities thrown at me, I will be able to know how to diffuse that by just not ignoring, by being able to have the power of ignoring them. I never thought it was possible without ketamine, but ketamine has done this. I'm very grateful. Very grateful to have been part of this process. I never thought in my life would actually end up this way. I never thought that I would be here. I never thought that I would be so far away from life like this. And I never thought that I would be this fucking come back stronger. I never thought that was possible. But this one's for my dad because he he trusted me, and he felt like I need more time, and he also felt like I need to I need to collect all the experiences I've had, and try to create something for the world. And I think that's happening, and I don't think that there is anything else that I'm afraid of. Mm, uh, I'm grateful to have been alive all this long, and enjoy the moment, enjoy the experience, enjoy the people around me. Even though it might be off the hook to say that there are much more things than in what you've been brought up with, and it's an apology from the behalf of the people that have caused me harm. Yes, I apologize on this from this person who's on the screen, and I'm willing to work together with whatever is going to allow me to grow and allow me to feel like I'm changing over time, and I'm riding the river of life. I'm on a boat, I'm on a mission, and the river is taking me. There's no blockage. But all those blockages I've had a long time ago of using eschatological, ideological, and other sorts of primitive ijtihad type of verbose, I've stopped that, and I'm actually really happy with understanding the world, leaving it at pace. Like I leave the world with being with itself. I don't try to reflex on that or try to pick something that was already given as a form of understanding. I'm not the only person that has to go through misunderstanding with religious scriptures and a bunch of other ideas that people have not actually given me the flowers to. And God knows that I've worked so hard for all of them for years behind closed doors, and I felt like I did all of this because I felt like I needed to tell the people the truth, to tell the people the truth that the world is probably in a very strange place, and eschatological understanding of where the world stands probably is more pointing towards an end. And I didn't meant to say that this is specific to the case idea of actually the world ending, because I had traumatic experiences post I don't know how long. And they were trying to talk to me like, we need a little more time from you to talk to us, talk to me. And that's what the whole process was shaping itself. And I needed to take the time back and try to release the pressure, you know, release the pressure. And I knew that there was an indication of what where time was taking me, and time was settling me down, and I was in this comfort of my own space, and I had to talk about the experiences I've had. And for a long time I never allowed that, but it is what it is, you know. You never know how experiential is life unless you get out of your pain receptors and actually allow a little bit of time to realize where you're being taken to. And that's all about it, you know. And the last part that I'll have to mention is maybe the question of my existence in 4 years of turmoil and a bunch of existential crises that people have had in this country for a long freaking time. I'm not going to be exaggerating on those points because every exaggeration will lead to a negative viewpoint because everybody else is experiencing their energy all over the place and they don't have the time to heal. They don't have places to go to heal. That's why healing process takes its own shape and its own form and its own place. And it's not going to be easy. I'm telling you now, it's not going to be easy. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, it's going to be over amplifying. Every time it happens, you have to resurface and come back stronger than ever. And I tried that, and the only problem with me, with the person that is always quiet, uh, even though you're trying to be a little quieter than you are. But it hurts me, it pains me when I'm not around the people that would eventually accept that, because polymorphic ideologies are not that intelligently, you know, heard by people around you. And even the ones who are very close to you, they're the ones who are causing the most problem here, causing the most pain. And this has to stop, and needs to change. And I need to realize how the potential of this case, how the potentiality of this case is actually going to be taken forward. And I'm realizing how easy this was, but at the same time how dangerous the process could have been. I could have passed away. I mean, we're talking about ketamine that is probably just on an initial dose. On an initial dose, we're talking about 150. That's the first time I remember I took it. It was just 2 months ago. I can't believe how the process was about to deteriorate my entire existence. I felt like I was dying and I was coming back at the same time. So you're dying and living at the same time. That's a paradox of dualistic idea of how contradictory nature is. You know, you appear and disappear at the same time, and that's what it allowed me to get into and come back appreciative. Now, how do I feel? I feel detached. You know, I haven't normalized the very essence of this conversation. I'm just saying what I've actually experienced. And we have a distorted mindset, and we don't allow it sometimes, and that's why it gets angry with us. The flow of expression, it becomes very angry if you do not allow yourself expressively to talk about the things that are bothering you, and sometimes allowing you to grab that energy and find a solution. Because our minds, what the bubble of our mind, I don't know how philosophical this is, but the bubble of our minds is is not what you think it is. It's not what you think it is. It's a bank of all the different types of memory that comes from a certain source, which is probably extraterrestrial. It's not from here. It's never tristial. People talk about the tristial nature of our life, how much tristial we are. But the fact is, it all comes from a very far distant place that signals our brain. that we need to keep going, and we need to just live the experience for itself. There is no magic ball, that people certainly, some at some point in their life, grab and invent something, and I don't believe in that invention part. And being very peculiar to the norm is something to talk about. It is a very good discussion. But other than that, there's a flow of nature that doesn't get stopped, and God is trying to give us the potential that we have. Like, He wants us to reach that potential, but there's seemingly a very harder process. I feel like we are making it harder with our own mistakes, and He sees that. He still forgets, but then He still forgives about it. But we need to have. That's why consistency in and of itself is the best thing to start, and never stop, and never stop, and never stop. Because if you're stopping it, you're making a tough decision here within yourself, that all of the inventions that have taken place on the face of this freaking earth, we were not in line. God was already planning this prior 5,000 years of civilization that has occurred. He was planning it prior to what was happening, and we are the ones who are scratching our heads, and we are saying that we want to take the reward for it. That's why I hate people who are in the middleman of this conversation. I hate them so much because they think they're taking the credit when God has already used that person, that unintelligent person, and He's given him all the inventions and discoveries of the 21st century post whatever. And at the end of the day, you just come back and see how crazy this whole playground is. There is no freaking discovery, my friend. All of them were prior. I mean, it was prior. It was planned out 1443 years ago. I mean, okay, post something, I don't know. But prophesized it. The prophet prophesized it, and I'm just still wondering how to get myself off of this hadith, and normally live like a human being. No, not live like a luddite, use a computer and say whatever you have to. But this is crazy for me. It's unbelievable when you think about a prophecy that oil is going to unleash itself for the Antichrist. I know it has multiple explanations because there are two words here: Antichrist and oil. The resources of the earth would unleash itself to the Antichrist. You know, it's a clear cut prophetic. Uh, it's a prophetic miracle. How else you will not take it that way? You are talking about the unleashing of all of this from the earth, and it's already unleashed, and people have used it. People have taken use of that, and they're still using it. But wait, it's pointing out towards the end. And I don't know if I'm going to be alive in the next 4 years to go, but it is what it is. I have lived a life that was never fulfilling, right? But you never know. You never know if the tables are going to turn, and you are going to be the first one to speak about it. And you're going to be the first one to achieve everything you never achieved. And your mind's not wandering anymore. Your mind is racing with the world. And so this is why I feel like I owe this person that okay, God has created me. I'm His gift to to be gifted to the rest of people. I don't believe that I'm the only gift. Everybody's a gift to themselves, but to God. And I never take God out of my conversation. I know that not today, but tomorrow. But, anyways, I've been talking for 24 minutes. I need to shut this down. I need to take some notes and properly discuss some of the things that I don't know if I actually do that, but I think I'll just speak about it as it comes. Maybe the flow is better than to didn't show a lot, but you gotta bear with me because there are patterns in what I speak, and I don't have the time to drag down the patterns and give you a full picture of what's happening. But I hope this helps me to recover those negativity and surge on positivities and live a life that was probably meant to be. I'm not going to be more exaggerative in what I say because intensifying factors have gone away and I am experiencing life in and of itself. I see how beautiful this is, and I just feel like how PTSD and trauma can affect a person in the long run. If you do not take care of it, you would probably end up losing everything. And that's what I understood. I knew I pointed out a long time ago was 15 years ago. I remember I was all alone in the back of my office, and I said this to myself: if this kept going on for a long time, if this kept going on for at least 5 more years, I'm sure I'm gonna lose this very gift. I'm gonna lose it. I never asked for help. I never thought I was asking for help because there were people that were never gonna get into my skin and find out what's going on. But I gave it time, and I think time was directing me towards the things that were more look for healing, look for healing, and do not stress out of what mistakes you would do along the way. And that's how I actually came here. That's how I'm actually putting a live video here. And I'm very hopeful for new things to look for and achieve them. I would certainly want to see how experiences would affect every other part. You see, because I'm not here to be understood anymore. I'm here to make change. And if you are into it, fine. If you're not, okay.